This is the BMW i3S, and I'll tell you what, for a car that's almost 10 years old, this is still real cutting edge stuff. It's an amazing bit of kit. It was the first car, all-electric car, that BMW produced back in 2013 when it was launched. And like I say, it's still going strong to this day. Inside here in the cockpit, it's made up of 80% recyclable material, including around 30 plastic bottles. Its carbon fibre makeup makes it 50% lighter than a steel version of this car, if there was such a thing. So you get the economy and you get the handling out of this car. At the end of the day though, it might still be cutting edge after 10 years, but can it cut the mustard with the competition? Because there's a lot out there at the moment. Well, that's what I intend to find out today and let you know what we think of the BMW i3S. You're watching me, AJ, from The Player, on YouTube. This is how a car should sound. Listen to this.
I didn't really push it either. I was just having a bit of fun.
Oh, really?
I think it makes a good word.
Let's go, mate. Nice to see you.
Show us your big chopper, your helicopter. So here we are, the Morgan Roadster. Hey guys, guess what? It's another morning here out in sunny France. The BMW i3S starts from £34,495, which isn't a bad price. However, if you start speccing this little car up, you could end up spending around 42,000 UK pounds, which is what this particular car costs here. But it's got quite a few extra bits and pieces. It does come as the standard car with foldy-in mirrors that warm up during the winter, keep them nice frost-free. You do get rain-sensing wipers, so the minute it starts raining, they're going to come on their own. And you get a decent set of LED headlights with an auto-dip beam that you can use as well. But when you start to add bits like the 20-inch black alloys we've got on this particular car, they come as part of the i3S Pro Pack. And with that, you get the 20-inch alloys, you get a Harman Kardon surround sound system for those tunes when you're driving along in your little car, and you will also get the reflective sunglass that BMW put into this car as well. That whole pack will run you at around 950 UK pounds, which is quite a lot of money. And again, if you want to go for those adaptive LEDs with the dip control and all that, you know, that sort of sensing, the adaptive LED system, that will cost you an extra £790. There's 7 colours to choose from. I particularly love this sort of bottley green colour with all the black accents, but you've got a great choice in those as well. Right, let's check out under the bonnet and see what the configurations are. Well, there's nothing under the bonnet. Let me show you. There's a little button here on the key fob, just below the lock button. You push that, look at that, how cool is that? So that opens it up. If you go slightly to the left there, you will find a button that you push up. I'm just looking for it now, there it is. And you push that up and look at that, some nice little struts that pull it up slowly. Not a lot to show you in here. You weren't expecting an engine or a motor or anything. It's all hidden behind here. What we do get in here, sadly, and I say sadly, is the pump and the latex for when you get a puncture, which doesn't work. Throw it away. Treat yourself to a set of run flats because you've got no room in this car to actually carry a spare wheel around with you. So that's just my personal recommendation. While we've got it open, I might as well tell you about the configuration with this car. So you get a 135 kilowatt motor, and that is powered by a 42 kilowatt battery. Combine those two together, gives you around 185 brake horsepower. It's a little bit faster and a little bit more powerful than your standard i3, but you will suffer a little bit on the range. Now the range on this, because it's only got that sort of smaller battery and the higher powered motor, you're going to get around 175 miles on a full tank, basically. But that is not real world. Real world, on a cold day like today, using the wipers, bits and pieces, the heating and stuff like that, even in just the comfort mode, you will only get around about 130 to 140 miles. You need to bear that in mind. Another thing, you have to drive this car in its Eco or Eco Plus mode to get the maximum out of it, to get the most of that range. I'll explain that when we get it out on the road. But one good thing about this car is a little bit faster. As I say, it's got that slightly bigger motor in it than the standard i3. So you're going to get a 0 to 60 time in around about 6.9 seconds, which is damn fast for a car like this. But all in all, it's a great little unit, and there's not tons of those different battery combinations to choose from. So when you go down to buy one of these, it's pretty simple at the end of the day. The i3S comes with one charging port on one side, which in my opinion, my humble opinion, is a little bit of a design fault, because I think when we're designing electric cars, we should either have one either side or at the front, making it easier when you pull up on a charging point. The actual charge itself, where you just push it like that, it pops open. You've got the double point there, absolutely box standard. IP68 rated, not going to get electrocuted anyway. Just pop it open like that and plug straight in. On a home charger, that's a 7.2 kilowatt charger, this car will charge in around 5 hours. That's 0 to 80%. It's never going to be 0%, because obviously you're not going to run it out. So it's always going to be, so we're pretty much talking a full charge in about 5 hours. If you've got an 11 kilowatt charger at home, you're very lucky, because you've got loads of money, because they're very, very expensive to install. However, if you have got one, 3 hours, full charge. And if you're out and you're on a 50 kilowatt DC charge, rapid charge, this car will charge in around 42 minutes. Comes with 2 charging cables, which are in the back there. One is one of those that you can plug into your home electric supply. That will take a couple of days to charge up from scratch if you have to use it, but it's very handy to have if you're out and about. And the other one is for when you're out and about and you need to use a charging cable. So all in all, you're pretty much covered. But as I say, I would like to have seen an extra charging port on the other side. So around at the back, decent little design, I quite like that. You've got LED rear lights on this car. Obviously there's no exhaust or any fake exhaust. It's all sort of very compact. You've got a bit of aero going on up the top here with a brake light built in, and you get a wash wipe with it as well, and you've got that sort of nice dark windscreen at the back. It's a floaty windscreen, so there's no water going to get in the rubbers there either. It's not electronically assisted, but the gas struts are really good. And the good thing is, if it's not electronically assisted, it means it's not using battery power, which we want to save as much battery power as possible. In here is just about enough for him to get a couple of carry-on suitcases or one large suitcase. But this car was never intended to be doing runs to the airport, in my opinion. It's a town car, so therefore it has the minimal space. But you can put the seats down at the back here, which is good. You've got a removable parcel shelf as well, and you also get a 12-volt adapter over there. And you've got a little pack over here with an ice scraper and some ice, spray, that stuff that sort of you spray on the windscreen there, or on the rear screen, whatever you do with it, you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, but all in all, versatile, it's nice. I can see this getting a little bit scratched if you're using it on a regular basis, but for popping down the shop, sticking your shopping in there, absolutely spot on. That's what this car was designed for. Let's check inside the back for the passengers, because when you have a look at this, first up, there's no handle. There's nothing hidden up here, like some cars have it hidden in the glass bit up there. Nothing at all. So you've got to ask yourself, well, how do I get in the back for the passengers? Let me show you. Very easy. Open your door. So it doesn't matter whether it's the passenger door or whether it's the driver's door. You're going to have to open it. And then here, there's a little latch, and you just pull it towards you like that, and the door goes back. Isn't that neat? How neat is that? I love it. Now, the first thing you notice, there's no pillar here. It's completely open. Look at that. The strength is coming, brake for it, this is where it gets difficult, from the carbon fibre plastic chassis shell. I got that all in one go. It's really difficult to say that as well. And you can see the carbon fibre. BMW have actually left it here on show, and I think that's really nice. It gives it a lovely edge all the way around. It's super, super strong, and it's half the weight of steel. So if this car was made of steel, it would be half the weight of a steel version of this car, but they only make it with the carbon fibre chassis shell. There you go. I love it. Keep saying it now. But I like the fact that it's all open. Keeps it nice and sort of airy and easy to get in and out, which I'm going to show you in a sec. But before I do that, for an extra 125 UK pounds, you can have these beautiful blue seat belts. I think they're super cool. So you've got a window at the back here. Now, it doesn't go down. There isn't anywhere you can actually put it down, which is a shame because that makes it feel a little bit claustrophobic in the back. However, getting in and out of this car is quite fun, and it's also really easy to put a baby seat in here. I'm going to show you. You have to put your bum in first like that, duck your head, because obviously it's a little bit lower, but then all you have to do is slide your feet round like that. Look at that. That is absolutely perfect. But as I say, it's quite tight in here. For a kid, yeah, I think it'd be all right. And with the sunroof and that you've got in here, it keeps it nice and airy so you don't feel that sort of too claustrophobic. But I would have loved to have seen that door, you know, the window going down. I think that would have looked really nice. Anyway, you've got your double cup holder in the back here. You've got ISOFIX points for your baby seats or your child seats, whichever you want to call them. I love the shape of these. Look how thin, how beautiful these seats are shaped. And it also gives you that little bit of extra leg room in here. You're not going to be going far in the back here. This is ideal for a couple of adults. Pick them up from the pub, or you're coming home from the restaurant, give them a lift home. Or, as I say, if you've got a couple of kids in the back here, fine. There are 2 USBs and a 12-volt adapter, but it's in the front section. There's nothing here in the back. So, again, I think that maybe is one of the little things that BMW have missed out on here, because it is going to be kids in the back. They're going to be on their phones, they're going to be on their iPads or whatever. They're going to need to charge them up on a longer journey. However, apart from that, really nice in here, very open, very high, and yeah, getting in and out is just an absolute cinch. I love it. There you have it. That's your passengers area. i3Ss are keyless entry and, believe it or not, keyless ignition. Well, there isn't actually an ignition, obviously. There's a start-stop button, and the start-stop button is here on your forward and reverse control panel. So you've got this large sort of appendage, shall we call it, and you just push that forward and push it back to go reverse. It's very, very simple, to be honest with you. And you've got a park button on the top there. So once you stop, just put that in the park and then you turn it off. It's so simple. Got an auto electronic handbrake down here as well. You can set that, or you can actually do it manually yourself. I love this little steering wheel. Plenty of adjustment on this as well. And I've got to say, by the way, before we talk about the adjustment, these seats are superbly comfortable. They're really nice. I love this driving seat. You're sort of well back here. But look at this. I mean, it's just bags of room there. You can pull it, look, right out, right the way in. I really like it. And that lovely little cluster here, the digital cluster. I've got to fire this up for you and show you. It's so nice. It'll make a few noises, because it always does when you start up, because the door's open or you haven't got your seatbelt on or whatever. There you go. It had to do something for me. It wasn't going to let me down. I love the cluster in the middle here as well. It's floating. It's like an infotainment system that completely floats in the middle of nowhere. This car has got, it is an extra, but it's got the oak finish on it. So you've got this oak wood paneling everywhere, and you've got the brown leather, and it's just really different, really nice. Car comes standard with aircon, so you've got the aircon on it. It comes standard with Apple Play as well. However, it doesn't come standard with a charger and Bluetooth. You have to pay £395 extra, but it is a really nice sort of magnetic charger in there. You can just slide your phone in there, and that's hidden underneath your sort of little centre console bit there. Really like that. Double cup holder. Then you've got your typical BMW infotainment system manoeuvrability. Got your big silver knob here to select everything. You can slide across. So quick, so fast, and it's crystal clear up there as well. Really nicely set up. You get, as I say, with the steering wheel, you get the cruise control as standard, but there is a special pack that you have to buy. It's called an assistant, and that's a drive assistant, and that is an extra that you have to put in for your lane keeping and your distance control and things like that. So again, you're starting to add sort of money up. On the right-hand side here, you've got your telephone control, and you've got your Ask BMW button. You've got your volume up and down here as well, and you've got your mode button over here. And then, like I say, on the left-hand side here, you've got all your settings for your distance control if you go for that Traffic Assist Plus pack that you can get with this car. Lighting control is just over here on the right-hand side. It's pretty simple. It's on, off, or auto. Again, on your wipers as well. Wipers are down here. Just set it to auto by pushing it once like that, and the wipers will move for you. And over here is your lighting, which again, you can set up when you're driving on that auto dip beam. You just push that once like that, and it goes into a standard setting for your lighting. You've got a glove box. You have to push the button there like that, and it pops up. It's quite a decent sized glove box. Nice and handy, I like that. You get heated seats with this car as standard as well. Got a really nice heated bottom at the moment because it's quite cold out there. One extra that I think is quite nice, but whether it's necessity or not is entirely your choice, is the sunroof. It's an extra £780 if you want that. At the end of the day, as I say, it's your choice. personally, I think it's really nice. And you can slide these little panels back like that very easily. And you've got a bit of a sun visor there as well. It's super, super comfortable. You've got two USBs down here and a 12-volt adapter, so you can charge pretty much everything up here in the front as well. Tons of leg room, and it's so easy to drive. And on that note, let's get it out on the road and have a little drive of it.
So one of the questions I get asked an awful lot is, AJ, why are electric cars so expensive? I mean, why do they? We're supposed to be trying to save money, save the planet, and why do they charge us so much for electric cars? Well, I had a good think about this, and I think I might have come up with the answer, because I think what you're paying for is the benefit and the savings over the period of ownership of the car. And obviously you are being kinder to the polar bears because there's no gases coming out of the car, so that makes it more eco-friendly, so to speak. But putting that to one side, when I mean you're paying up front for the tech, which obviously costs money because tech always does, how I mean by that is you're saving money on the fuel basically in advance, because this car is currently doing 3.6 miles to the kilowatt. Now when you equate that each mile to the kilowatt is around 40 miles per gallon in a combustion engine, irrespective of diesel or petrol, it's 40 miles to the gallon. Times that by 3.6, this car is currently doing 125 miles to the gallon. That's completely crazy, and doesn't matter how much I do, how fast I drive it, how slow I drive it, where I drive it, when I drive it, it's going to do 3.6 and above, because it kind of is set up that way. I've had it up to 3.8, and apparently you can even get this up to 4 miles to the gallon, even more. It's crazy. So stuff like that, I think you are paying in advance, and obviously you're paying for the savings over the period of time. You're just paying a little bit more, and I guarantee you, if you do the long-term math on it, I'm not going to bore you with that, but a car costing you, say, £30,000 with a combustion engine, and this costing you 35, nearly 40 with all the extra bits on it, you're going to save that 10,000 within the first couple of years easily on fuel, because the price of diesel and petrol at the moment is gone through the roof. Okay, I can hear what you're saying, so is electric. Electric's gone up, so the cost of charging one of these cars has gone up. But it's nowhere near the price of a gallon or a litre of fuel, trust me. You can get on the right tariff with this car. You can get it as low as 4 or even 5 pennies per kilowatt overnight on a special tariff with some of the electricity companies. Average, I know, is around 17, 18 pennies per unit. And if you're out on the road, it's going to cost more because that's more convenience factor. But this car is going to be charged at home. You're going to pop out to the shops, you're going to go to the school, you're going to be running around. It's a runabout. That's what I call these cars. They're runabouts. It's not going to be doing 400 or 500 miles where you're having to recharge every 140, 150 miles. It's not designed for that. It's designed as a little runabout. It's just perfect for that. So therefore, you're just going to be popping it on charge at night when the cheaper tariff's on, topping up that charge, and away you go again the next day. It is simply perfect. And as I say, obviously you are being a lot kinder to the environment. Those polar bears will definitely be smiling up there in Iceland the more people are driving of these. Now, speaking of how many of these have been sold, this is such a popular car. Nearly 250,000 i3s have been sold. Not just i3Ss, i3s, 250,000 since its launch, back in 2013. We mentioned that. I think that's testament to how good this little car is. Let me explain a little bit more about the bits and pieces on this car and what I think are worth paying extra for. You've got a mode button down here right in the center. The car defaults to comfort mode, and that's like basic. When you start up the car, you're in comfort mode. That allows you to use all the general bits and pieces like the aircon, the heated seats, everything you need, your radio and stuff like that. It won't shut anything down, and it's a really, really nice, comfortable drive. Then you can push up for a bit of fun. You push up, you go into sport mode, and you get the full benefit of that 42 kilowatt battery and 135 kilowatt motor. And this thing absolutely flies. I love electric cars. No gears, foot down. It's just simplicity, and at the end of the day you get to enjoy the road so much more. So you push back down to comfort mode again, then you go into your iDrive modes. You've got 2 iDrive modes. You've got Eco Drive, Eco Pro and Eco Pro Plus. Now Eco Pro will put you into a mode that I tend to use all the time. It's got the maximum regenerative braking on it. You can't adjust the regenerative braking on this car. On some cars you have paddles, some electric cars, and you can change it up and down. So if you don't like it, unfortunately you're going to have to put up with it in this car. I really like it. I've got used to it. I can almost use it. It will almost stop itself. And if you judge the distance right in town, it's absolutely so nice. You don't have to keep hitting the brake. Perfect way of driving, in my opinion. Regenerative braking, just for those who are not aware, is the KERS system, so it takes regenerative energy from when you brake or when you freewheel or coast and turns it back into mileage into the battery. It won't ever fully recharge the battery. If it did, it'd be absolutely fantastic. We'd have the perfect answer to the perfect electric car. You'd never need to plug it in. But unfortunately, you still need to plug it in. It just helps. It gives it a little bit more, you know, it tops it up here and there when you're going downhill. So don't forget, if you live in Switzerland or Austria, don't buy an electric car thinking that you're going to be able to fully recharge the battery by coasting up and down the hills every time. It doesn't happen. It's never going to happen. Not for a long time anyway. And then you go down into the Eco Pro Plus mode. Now this is the maximum range you're going to get on this car. It's shown at the moment around about 160 miles, which is very, very good for any, you know, for a little car like this. BMW say around 170 to 190. Real world terms, I would say between 140 and 160, depending on what you've got on. Now there are ways of saving a bit of your battery. Up to a third of the battery can be saved by buying an auxiliary cabin heater, as BMW call it. Basically it's what the manufacturers call a heat pump. Now a heat pump basically works very different. It doesn't take battery power. I'm not going to go into how it all works because a lot of you go, no AJ, it doesn't work like that, so I'm not going to cause any arguments. If you've got any comments, put them in the comments box down below. Basically, invest that 530 because you will get an extra third in your battery power. Definitely worth it. Now, something I don't think is worth it because, as I said, this car is more of a runabout towny car, and that is the driving assistant pack. Now, with this car, when you buy it, as standard, you get cruise control and a speed limiter. I think that's all you need. I don't think you need lane keeping, distance control, sign recognition, all those bits, because if you want that, you're going to have to pay an extra £790. I'd save that. I don't think you need it. It's a town car. It's definitely something, you know, it's a luxury if you're going to go for it. A bit like the sunroof, absolutely love it, a lot of money. It's a luxury, you don't necessarily need it. One thing you do need, I feel, are parking sensors. And I'm a bit miffed with BMW here because they charge you extra for them. They charge you an extra £170 for parking sensors, front and rear. I think that should come with the car. If you want a parking camera, reverse camera, it's an extra £360. But that, to me, again, is a luxury item. It's a small car. It's very easy to park and manoeuvre this car. You don't need a camera. But parking sensors, definitely something you should invest in. Extra 170 quid. But, as I say, should be included BMW, penny pinching there. All in all, though, this car will put a smile on your face. It's great fun to drive. It is superbly comfortable. It's dead quiet. Look at the peripheral vision. Look at the glass in this car. It's all round. It's absolutely amazing. Seats are incredible. Sitting here, I could drive for hours. And the fun and the smiles per minute, simply second to none. Go down, give yourself a test drive of one of these. You've got to. Brilliant car.
So there you have it, guys, the BMW i3S. And what do I think of it? Well, to be honest, you've got to get yourself down to a BMW showroom, go out and have a little test drive in one of these. In actual fact, test drive both the i3 and the i3S. The i3S, yes, it's got that beefier suspension, it's got that bigger motor, it's going to give you a little bit more bang for your buck in the speed and the power. But at the end of the day, either one of them with a decent set of alloys look absolutely superb in my opinion. It's a great all-round versatile town car. That's what it's all about. But at the end of the day, you can get out on the road and have a lot of fun with it. So, and I especially have had a lot of fun with this car. Value for money wise, well, again, that's down to a personal opinion. We've all got different values at the end of the day. Thanks for watching, guys. You've been watching me, AJ, on the Player YouTube channel. Don't forget, like, subscribe and comment. If you've got any questions, stick them in the comment box down below and either myself or one of the team will get back to you in due course. Don't forget, if you can, could you give us a big thumbs up, because we don't get a pay rise, we don't get a bonus or anything like that. What we do get is a pat on the back from the bosses for a job well done, because if you thumbs up, that means you like what we're doing. If you would like to subscribe, there is a subscribe button down there. Leave the bell sign unchecked and you'll get regular updates of all the videos that we are currently doing, because we do tons and tons of stuff. As you saw at the beginning of this video, we aren't just doing car reviews. There's all bits and pieces that we're doing because we are part of The Player, and The Player is a men's bookazine. Now, before you switch off, if you fancy something for nothing, completely free of charge, and you like your pages and your magazines and your books, well, you're going to get something for nothing here, because The Player is 184 pages of fun-packed stuff for us guys. It's got cars, it's got boats, it's got holidays, it's got golf, it's got food, it's got interviews. I can keep going on and on. It's absolutely ram-packed of all the things that we love, guys. And if you want a copy of that completely free of charge, all you've got to do is head over to, wait for it, www.theplayer.co.uk. It's going to come in here somewhere now. The editor will do that for me. Thanks, editor. Head over there. I'm going to leave it up for a few seconds so you can memorise it. Get over there. Go onto the page, you'll see at the top it says register. Just get to the register bit, you get a free copy of that online, and you can flick through it online, you can download it, do whatever you want with it, and it's yours, as I say, completely free of charge, because you're watching me, AJ, on the Player YouTube channel. On that note, thanks guys, I'm going to go and get warm. I'm going to leave you with a lasting impression of the lovely BMW i3S, and I'll catch you next week with something a bit different.